Arcane is a show that took Riot Games and Fortiche Productions 6 years to make, and you absolutely feel that time spent as you watch the masterpiece that is Season 1. The animation, score, voice acting, writing, pacing. You just feel that every person who worked on this show understood their assignment and brought their best to the table. Any one of these things individually already would have gotten people talking about the show, but it's the blend of all the various art forms and how they craft the story of these characters that I feel is why the show has the impact it does. Even though these characters are completely fictional, they each carry nuance to the point that they feel like people. The last time I remember an animated show having characters that had anywhere near this level of depth was Avatar: The Last Airbender. And if I'm comparing your show to Avatar, my favorite show ever, then you are definitely doing something right. Out of all of the amazing characters within Arcane, the one I ended up loving the most was Jinx, and I feel like she's a great starting point at dissecting why Arcane's characters feel so real. All of Jinx's tragedy is grounded in a human way, not in a cartoonish way. As soon as we meet her as a child in Act 1, the powder keg begins to stack for all of the reasons why she will transform into Jinx. Bullying and harassment, depression, abandonment, panic attacks, post-traumatic stress disorder, schizophrenia, anxiety, psychosis, borderline personality disorder, and more. Her struggles are grounded in real trauma and disorders that people live with. As someone who deals with OCD and ADHD, I found this character incredibly relatable. This is someone whose mental illness isn't brushed off as a joke or glamorized. I've been looking through comments and people who struggle with their mental health, and many found it to not just be relatable, but even disturbingly uncomfortable due to how accurate things were portrayed through Jinx. Disorders like these eat you alive, make your life a living nightmare. Even though the show uses its art form to portray Jinx in a fantastical fashion, all of her various illnesses are grounded within the human condition. Her name now carries so much more meaning, knowing that it was a hurtful nickname, but is now embraced as a way to cope and a choice to evolve into something stronger and more powerful than Powder ever could be. Powder would have never been able to survive the cruelty of Zaun, but Jinx did. Tragically and brutally, but she survives, she endures, she keeps moving forward and evolving. That's a powerful message for people to take from this character, and a reminder for others to remember to have empathy and cognizance in your words and actions, because you truly don't know what people are or have gone through. In an age where it's so incredibly easy to be desensitized and cynical to people's struggles when communicating through anti-social media, it's powerful and refreshing to see how just one character's journey can make viewers and players more empathetic and understanding to those around them. I applaud Christian Link and Alex Yee for taking League's poster girl, who has often been touted as a generic Harley Quinn knockoff, and reinvigorated her by rebuilding her character with this level of tragedy and subtlety. And so far, I've only talked about Jinx. Every character in Arcane is like this. These characters were written as if they were real people. Not cartoons, not caricatures, not concepts from a video game. Reimagined as fully fleshed out three-dimensional characters with trials, tribulations, and dreams. The past 10 years of Riot's lore building has essentially been them sketching the world on a canvas. Arcane is them finally starting to paint on it, breathing life, care, and passion into characters who had no right in the world to be this refined. Getting to watch the beautiful cohesion between animators, actors, writers, and developers feels rewarding as you see the way everything unfolds, connects, and intertwines. Jinx is also a prodigy, and I love how the show highlights her wit and skill. She gets her hands on a Hextech gem and is able to decipher how it works. No education, no mastery of the arcane, just intuition, skill, and good old scientific trial and error. It took Jace and Victor decades of study and knowledge combined to crack the code to Hextech. She's just able to do it in less than a week with a handbook and a bunch of explosive scraps. Makes you think about what could have been for her if she grew up in a different place. Her combat prowess is insane, she's an excellent marksman, has insane reflexes, and this is before she has Shimmer in her bloodstream, which makes her even faster and deadlier. And I love her attention to details, like the fact that she knows Vi's nickname for Caitlyn is Cupcake, and then makes her one for her snack. The little details and callbacks are so thorough throughout Arcane. Vi, man, you feel so bad for Vi over the course of this show. She's trying to do the right thing, get back to her sister, who you know she loves, but it's just a series of unfortunate events between her and Jinx. A blind moment of anger, needing to catch a breath and being taken away, leaving Jinx with the thought that she abandoned her. Rotting in a prison for years, wishing how that last interaction could have gone differently. Trying over and over with the hope that she can get her sister back, but not realizing that she's doing it in a way that reawakens her demons. Vi, like many who don't understand mental health, doesn't realize that the things that make her whole, the things that get her back into a fight, are the same things that tear Jinx apart. And in the final scene of season 1, she can't punch her way out of it. She's put in an emotional, vulnerable place that is completely out of her element. Vi also suffers with the guilt that she's hurt her sister, put her on this dark path, and blames herself, even though both of these sisters are victims of very terrible circumstances. These girls go through so much and you just hope that they can work it out and fix things, but the challenges of life are never an easy fix, especially in Runeterra. No character in Arcane is completely good or completely evil. Everyone operates within the gray with varying levels of complexity and growth, which is the perfect segue to Silco. This man is absolutely getting a video essay in the future. I love this motherfucker so much. He is a vile bastard of a dictator who clawed his way to power through death and destruction, all for the dream of an independent Zaun. He is given that dream on a silver platter by Jace in the final episode of season 1, but he doesn't do it because he's a dad, and Jinx is now the thing that matters most. In Act 1, he was completely blinded by his rage and his hatred. He couldn't understand why Vander would have given up their dream and put down his gloves over some kids, until he takes one of them in as his own, and over time understands that his goals and ambitions are alive in his daughter. Vander gave up everything to protect his children at the end of Act 1, and Silco gave up everything to protect Jinx at the end of Act 3. Jinx is the monster that both Vi and Silco created, but Silco always loved her unconditionally, no matter what, and the core thing that Vi hopefully will eventually learn to do. Even though Silco absolutely is at fault for fueling a lot of the issues that Jinx suffers with, at the end of the day, he was a parent who was trying his best to keep his child alive. He saw himself in her and wanted to make sure that she did not grow up alone like he did. He wanted her to be better than him. He knew that Jinx has the power to change the world.
I never would have given you to them, not for anything. Don't cry. You're perfect.
Jinx became Silco's dream. His vision and ambition for Zaun lives in her. And his final words of "you're perfect"? Beautiful. Absolutely brilliant. When she finally makes that decision to sit in the Jinx chair, it is heartbreaking and powerful. Vi can't change the past, but she has a chance to change their future if she can learn to accept her sister for who she is now. Finally hearing the words she's needed to hear her entire life from Silco, Jinx fully embraces her life and moves forward, executing her final order from her father to finish the weapon, making the names of both of her weapons hit that much harder. In the games, when she's talking to her guns, it's not because she's completely bonkers or fun crazy. It's her speaking to Pow Pow, the ghost of her younger self, and Fishbones, an eternal reminder decorated in the love her father had for her. The relationships and rivalries, the dynasties and dystopia. This is why the characters in Arcane are a masterclass in storytelling. The Season 2 teaser has me so anxious to see how the story between Jinx and Vi will unfold. Will they be able to reconnect? Is that even possible anymore? Will Vander coming back as Warwick be a catalyst to bring them together, or will he completely forget everything? I have no idea, but the fact that I'm even asking these questions, or hell, even making this video, means that Riot and Fortiche did the impossible. I'm a fan now. I was never able to get into League of Legends because MOBAs are just so not my genre. My OCD ADHD mind never had the patience for MOBA gameplay. But I have played Legends of Runeterra every single day since I finished Arcane. I have a problem. I keep watching video essays and diving into wikis to learn more about Runeterra's lore. I can't wait to play Convergence. I loved Speed Brawl from Double Stallion. So many of the upcoming projects from Riot Forge look incredible. The only MMO I've ever played is Phantasy Star Online 2, and I am hyped for Riot's MMO. Project L looks like a dream game. Marvel vs. Capcom style gameplay with League's massive roster? I can't even put into words how hyped I am for that. Arcane has transcended being the best video game adaptation. Sorry, Castlevania, I still love you. Riot Games and Fortiche have made a masterpiece with Arcane, a show that on initial impression is, oh, it's about the crazy girl and characters from League, and ended up being so much more than that. And the best part? Riot is now making so many different types of experiences for players and viewers, so you don't even have to play League to become invested. They are expanding their brand so that no matter what type of person you are, you will have avenues and mediums to jump into and enjoy the world of Runeterra in a way you will love. And that's pretty awesome amazing if you ask me.